Hey everyone, Mirai here, and welcome to a vlog video. Haven't done one of these in a long time. In fact, I haven't even put myself on camera for all of 2019 at this point, right? So we've just reached April, and this is the first time you're seeing my pretty face on camera. At least I think it is, right? I didn't come out with it. I think the only video I've come out with recently was one where I was off camera talking about old hardware. Anyway, we got some stuff to talk about, and it's just random BS. I don't expect a lot of people to be interested about this, but some people might be wondering, where the frickin' frack have I been? Well, let me tell you, there's a handful of stuff to talk about. So first and foremost, I'd like to talk about audio. Audio, from here moving forward, might be a little louder than older videos. So this includes the previous video as well. I've been messing around with audio, been trying to figure out some ways to do other things with audio. I ran into some problems with the way I did audio in the past with my side project that I'm doing for my other channel, which is for a Sega Genesis game. But anyway, I was working with audio on that, and I'm realizing that it was kind of sucky and I can do better. So I turned up the volume, and I had to fix a few other things. So ultimately, the audio is likely going to be a little bit louder, a little bit clearer. You're probably going to be able to hear that noise from my mouth at times, depending on if I've got cotton mouth or whatnot. Stay hydrated, kids. That is really what I drink out of on a daily basis. At least 120 ounces every single day, if not more, usually 1.5 of these, so 180 ounces every day. That's at most though, right? Anyway, what the hell are we doing here, right? So anyway, audio is going to be a little bit louder, and it might even change again in the near-ish future because I'm slightly enticed by the idea of moving to a more hardware-oriented setup, where I have a hardware mixer with multiple channels, being able to control a bunch of stuff. This will, like right now, I deal with a bunch of stuff post-recording in software and whatnot to clean things up if need be. But, just to be fair, I actually pull some of the bass out of my voice because this mic right here, this SM7B, you'll hear this is like the hottest fucking mic. Like this is what everyone and their mother uses for like podcasts and stuff like that, right? But it always makes it sound so bassy. And there's a lot of reverb here because I'm surrounded by monitors. And so this gets thrown back into the mic and there's additional bass feedback. So I don't want people to think like I'm like manipulating the audio to make myself sound super ultra sexy. I just sound that way to begin with. No, I'm kidding. I actually pull some of the bass out because I think when I listen to it back, it sounds so bassy. And when I hear other people's podcasts and whatnot, it's like so bassy. It's like, dude, turn the fucking bass down a little bit, man. So, because a lot of people's voice just naturally when they're on this mic, it sounds more bassy than it actually is. So I actually try to make it sound like my actual voice as opposed to fucking with it to the point where it sounds like I'm somewhere else out in space talking to you in perfect silence. But, man, that's a long time to talk about audio. So anyway, I'd like to have a hardware mixer so that I can manipulate everything and a gate and a limiter and a compressor and all that stuff that I'm just now learning about really in the past few months. I'd like to have all that external hardware-wise, and I think that would be really sexy because maybe one fucking day I'll turn on a stream. One day I'll turn on a stream, and it will really be helpful to have that stuff. So, if anyone watches other streamers, I don't actually watch this. I don't actually watch this person stream, but there's a woman out there who streams. Her name is Ammunition. She has a very sexy hardware setup, and although mine doesn't need to be anywhere as complex as hers is, I want to base mine off of that. So you can look that up. The only reason I know that exists is because she actually puts up a diagram of how she has her stuff set up. So Ammunition, very attractive hardware setup. Remember that. So anyway, that's enough about audio, I think. We're in game. We're not going to gather. This is not hopefully going to be a long video, right? We're just going to be talking about some things. I am redoing my profile. This is why my super duper ultra amazing top of the food chain. I don't know what else is there. What other great ways to describe my profile is there? I don't know. But we're redoing my profile. I've got a handful of stuff that I'm doing. I'm redesigning it. We've got where's the old profile? Is this it? That's the one from, this is, okay, so I'm actually using 3 profiles at the moment. So because I'm trying to figure out how I set some things up. So this profile is actually, see, I had to go back and look at my old work from the Pro System video series, episode 5 and 6 out of that series. This is actually the profile out of that, which I have to look at and break down to see how I actually set up this specialization stuff, because I want to re-implement that into my new profile because it's very attractive system. So we're going to do that, and that's why this is open. But this is open here because this is my old setup and how I had things broken down. It kind of looks like ass if you look at it now. It doesn't look good simply because I actually changed the font in ISBoxer. Yeah, I changed the font in ISBoxer, and I know some people are going to be like, how did you do that? How did you do that? Well, there's not an easy way to do that. You need to change the MS Sans Serif system font in the registry to be something else, and then that will affect ISBoxer, but it will also affect everything else in the system, in the operating system that uses MS Sans Serif, which is a handful of stuff. Just pointing that out. So anyway, that's why this looks funny, because this is using some old formatting stuff that worked well with MS Sans Serif. But this is my old profile. There's a lot of things that were broken down. There's a lot of wasted space here. And so, you know, even the additional spaces and whatnot when it came to like the class key maps and everything. So I'm just giving kind of a preview. This is, I've been giving sneak peeks and stuff on the World of Warcraft channel on the ISBoxer Discord. So you may have seen some of this already. There's a lot of this just isn't implemented. It's just framework at this point. Of course, though, I do have a lot of stuff. Let's move this up so people can get this in the zoom in, because I will have zoomed in here. So yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff in here, a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff. We're going to break it up. I'm going to show it in the future. It's obviously far from done, but I break things up by category here. I'm trying to make it a little bit more consolidated, a little bit neater. There's some systems, not sure if none of this is final at this point, but a lot of this is in place. So I've obviously tried to clean up it again, consolidate, squish this down so I don't eat up a ton of space from the previous one. My ATGs still, and just a lot of stuff is still a work in progress. I just recently got here a few days ago of finalizing this layout. Again, it may not be final, and this is not an overview for my profile. I'm just showing some of the stuff I've got. Character breakdown here, which I'm building slowly but surely. We're only down to Druid. I got to do Hunter after this, and then down all the other classes that I may at some point have in the future. So yeah. Very interesting stuff. So I'm rebuilding this simply because, for a few reasons, I guess. First of all, I thought the old system was a little difficult to follow. It's kind of broken up. It's kind of scattered a little bit more than I would have liked it to be scattered. And of course, I'm not a programmer, but I'm going to talk about this from like a programmer standpoint. It's like when you see someone like either even in World of Warcraft, when someone just comes back to their add-on and they like just rewrite it because they're like, well, the other one was a little badly written and it could be, better, it could be more efficient. Same thing with anybody's program. They come back, they do the 2.0 version of the program. They're like, yeah, it's a complete rewrite, yada, yada, yada. I mean, you've probably heard that plenty of times. It's a complete rewrite. And that's the same thing here. I've started from absolute scratch for the most part. I've copied over very little from the previous profile. I've built everything from my toggles from, from ground zero and up. And so it's been a lot of configuration. I actually have a video on this channel that talks about the wizard, using the wizard versus not using the wizard for setting up World of Warcraft. And I even cut a bunch of corners. It's like a 30-minute setup to set up just basics. And I already know what I'm doing, right? It takes like 30 minutes to set up just the basics for World of Warcraft versus like it's done in like 2 minutes or less for whatever I do when I set up the wizard, using the wizard. It's an older video, but it does outline the fact that the wizard, while people may not like using the quick setup wizard on ISBoxer, it sets up so much shit that you would have to set up manually, and it takes forever to set that shit up manually. And that's what I'm getting at here, is that me having to set up a lot of this stuff manually because I started with just a blank profile. It's taken a long time to get all this stuff in place, especially because I've got it all spread out in crazy places like this. So what was I talking about? Oh, the reason why I'm doing this, right? Because it's like a complete rewrite, and I wanted to make it cleaner. But I do. Have I talked about this in the past? I don't know if I talked about this somewhere. I've been talking about this like in the ISBoxer Discord. Like I haven't been dead, right? I just haven't been making videos. I've been on Dual Dash Boxing forums. I've been on the ISBoxer forums. I've been on the ISBoxer Discord. I'm around, man. I'm around. I've been helping people left and right every single day, and so I probably mentioned this only in the Discord, but man, I want to do another multiboxing with Mirai series, man. I fucking miss multibox. I miss just like the leveling process. I know. And I said this before because I've done a multiboxing with Mirai series time and time again, right? And I've taken it to like level 90-ish before, right? And I'm not sure where this one would stop. I'm not even sure where it would begin. I'm not even sure if I would like pick up at like 30 onward, because I think the first 30 levels, you're kind of like, your action bars are somewhat vacant and you don't have a lot of abilities that you would like to just start with. So like Paladin doesn't even have fucking Consecrate until, well, I don't even know what level they get Consecrated at these days, but especially because 8.0 brought the new level squish, or the item level squish, right? So I want to see, I haven't multi-boxed these dungeons since 7.3.5 when we got the first, or not 7.3.5, was it 7.3.1? What was it? God, when we got the first item level squish in Legion. Well, I guess that wasn't the first one, was it? But when we got the item level squish in Legion, I multi-boxed then, and it was pretty difficult to do that. There was a really, really a good bit of challenging content in just leveling dungeons. And I want to see what the new item level squish has done for us now. No, that was the level scaling that fucking went into effect in Legion, and the item level squish is now with 8.0, right? They didn't do an item level squish last expansion. But I want to re-level it just to see what it's like, because I liked it. Like, a lot of people are always asking me questions like, what should I do for leveling and yada, yada, yada. I don't have those answers right now. I haven't leveled a new team since like 7.2 or whenever the scaling went into effect. And I'd like to see how it feels again and approach this with, I'm kicking around the idea, which is what I wanted to do last time, is go with like an all melee team, go with two teams, right? All melee team on one side of things. And then my 3 DPS would be ranged on the other team then. So, whatever the class makeup would be, I really enjoy my 4 warrior tank and then 3 warrior DPS setup. I really like that. Setup. So I probably pick that for melee. For ranged, I don't know. Hunters always seem like the go-to class, so it really seems easy to just pick hunters. I would probably do that. That's actually what I started to do last year. Was it last year or was it end of like 2017? I'm not sure. Whatever. It's man, time fucking just flies by. It's all a giant blur. And so yeah, I'm thinking about doing another multi-boxing with Mirai series. Some people might not like that. Some people might be excited for that. But that's why I want to redo my profile, because I want to make it, we're just going to fucking say it again, more efficient, leaner, cleaner, all around, so that it makes sense and works even better for the new set, the new series, whenever that will be. I don't know. Honestly, I'd like to do it before the release of Classic, because once Classic is released, my time is going to be split between retail and Classic, both solo play and multi-boxing, and I'm going to be nowhere to be found except in game. It's going to be crazy. So there's, obviously anyone who's played Classic, my account was created day one. The day the game came out, my account was created. So I still have this is my original account from, November 23rd, 2004. And, I was there. I know how tedious and arduous and difficult. I know that's a word that some people shouldn't use. You shouldn't use that to describe vanilla content. Tedious and arduous is much more Classic friendly in terms of descriptors. But, I can't wait to go back to that. I'm very excited for that. But I'll start from a solo play standpoint, but I will eventually multi-box Classic. Composition, no idea. Not here to talk about that in this vlog. But right. So ultimately, leaner, cleaner profile for a new series, but at the same time, I would like to potentially, oh my God, fucking A, there's going to be 4,000 disclaimers on this video whenever I do this. Potentially share this profile with the masses. I've never shared my super duper ultra amazing profile before because it is tailored 100%, 120% to me and my play style and the way I like things. Someone is going to look at this and be like, this is fucking horrible, right? And whenever I share this with Lax, I was having some problems with some targets just yesterday, and I shared it with Lax, and I knew he was probably rolling his eyes like, God damn, why is this shit split up this way? Why does this look like this, right? And I understand, it's not for everyone. The thing is, though, because I did say I changed the font in ISBoxer, I'm probably going to have to strip out a lot of these, if not all of these special characters, and just make them more bland for people so that you can load this into a standard ISBoxer profile. Because if you load this up with a standard ISBoxer profile and a standard MS Sans Serif font, a lot of this is just a garbled mess, and it's not good. It's not good. And I don't even know if you could export it properly at that point. So again, you shouldn't be using profiles that you find on the internet to just fill in the blanks and export because it's unlikely that it's going to work for you. That's what I mean by I have to put like 9,000 disclaimers on that video whenever I do a profile overview because I know, man, everyone, okay, I'm exaggerating there, but there's always people who come along and they're like, this isn't working. I've loaded up your profile from the Pro Series video 5 and 6 videos there where I share the bigger breakdown of everything. They're like, it's not working. And I'm like, no shit, it's not working, dude. It's because you don't have all of this other stuff in place. Look at my profile, watch the video, see how it's broken down. Think about what you might like from the profile. Look at it and implement it, copy and paste it over to your stuff, right? Because your profile is already set up to work with you and your stuff, your team, everything, your hardware across the board, right? So you just copy something from someone else's, paste it into yours, and you're good to go. Now, I know I'm going off on a goddamn tangent here, but that's enough of that. So in a possible, very likely a Multiboxing with Mirai series in the nearish future, because I've also been thinking about some, I've been thinking about some hardware upgrades. I almost bought a new CPU. I bought a new motherboard like 3 months ago. I bought an X299 motherboard about 3 months ago. And actually, I guess about 4 months ago at this point. And it's just been sitting in the box. It's been sitting in the box doing nothing because I just can't bring myself to right now buy an expensive ass Intel chip. And AMD is about to release their new lineup here at the end of May, including but here there's a caveat there. There's fine print to that. But not only their CPU lineup, but they're also their GPUs, their 7 nanometer GPUs. Because if we're looking at what's on the market right now, we've got a 2080 Ti, right? My only move is to go from a 1080 Ti to a 2080 Ti. Otherwise, I lose video RAM. I have 11 gigs of video RAM on the 1080 Ti. I have to move to a 2080 Ti just to maintain 11 gigs of video RAM. But it's only like a 20 to 30% increase in performance for fucking like $1,200. You've got to be kidding me. And it's right now, my current upgrades that I have available to me are such a hard pill to swallow. It's a $1,200 2080 Ti. It's a $1,000 starting at $1,000 10-core 20-thread chip, which is going to equal pretty much exactly what I've got, just slightly better performance under the hood, just a little bit there. So it's not a huge jump, and it's like, I don't know. I'm hoping that AMD is going to come along and just kind of light a fire under anyone's ass here in terms of Intel chips and NVIDIA GPUs. The problem is, though, I need a lot of PCI Express lanes. I've got a lot of shit plugged into my motherboard. And if AMD's new lineup, they're not expected to release Threadripper here at the end of May. For Threadripper is coming later, like August, September, October, somewhere in there. So that's several months off. I don't know. Do I want to wait until that time to upgrade? Because their newest CPUs are just going to be like their mid-range stuff, but they're very attractive in terms of core count and thread count. However, the available PCI Express lanes, if they keep them as low as they were before, I'm not going to have enough with that AMD platform. I'm going to have to either wait for Threadripper or move to an Intel-based setup, stick with Intel. And I just don't know what to do. And it's like this stalemate. Every time something comes up, I almost bought a chip the other day. Just like 4 days ago, I almost bought, or I guess maybe about a week ago, I almost bought like a 9940X. And I was like, God damn, this is an expensive chip. I can't do this right now. I just can't do this. Maybe I can do it in the future. Maybe I can find a discount in the future somewhere. Possibly, but I'd rather not buy like secondhand, bargain bin type of stuff, because I want to make sure that I've got the Intel warranty with it. I'd like to buy something retail boxed, unopened from like Newegg or Amazon or whoever else wants to sell me one. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the pipeline, man. Potential upgrades, but maybe not, because when I upgrade, it's going to be probably at the very minimum 2 weeks of downtime as I pull down all my systems, swap things out, move things over. The other thing is I kind of want more cores and more threads on my secondary machine. Right now, I've got an older 5960X sitting in there, and it's only got 8 cores and 16 threads, and it's not enough to handle. I've talked about this in previous videos a little further back last year. It's not enough to handle recording an X264 if I was going to do a stream of some sort. Likewise, I've got a Titan X in that machine. It's a Maxwell chip from several generations ago. It's slightly better than a 980 Ti, and that's several generations old. So even its NVENC capability is a little behind the curve. It's like, it's good enough, but it's not good enough to use the CPU. And if I start doing multiple encodes with the camera, with the stream, and if anyone else jumps in on my stream for whatever reason, I might need a bigger, better chip to handle all that encoding. And right now the 5960X is unable to do that, right? So I have to wait for AMD to release their stuff at the end of May anyway, but I still might be limited on PCI Express lanes. It's a big clusterfuck, man. It's like, goddamn, it's like I need to go with 2 Intel systems and spend top dollar for minimal performance gains over what AMD is going to be offering just for the PCI Express lanes. I'm hoping that AMD's new X570 chipset is going to, this would really be, sticking it to Intel is if they actually allowed 44 PCI Express lanes on this new X570 setup. That would be phenomenal. Because then that would be an easy move. We're expected to have 16 core chips on just mainstream stuff. On just mainstream, not Threadripper, just standard Ryzen. Well, Threadripper is Ryzen, but just the new 7 nanometer stuff that's coming out at the end of May, which is not Threadripper. We're expected to have 16 core chips, and that's incredibly delicious. I would love a 16 core chip for $500 to $600. That would be phenomenal. But if it doesn't have the PCI Express lanes, I can't plug all my shit back into the motherboard. Which begs to differ. Should I then get rid of the 2 GPUs, sell those off, and then put all that money towards a 2080 Ti and just go with a single GPU setup for now? It's possible, right? It's a possibility. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of decisions that need to be made, or ultimately not really made, because I can get by on my current stuff now. Maybe I should just wait till the end of the year to see what we have available. So that's a very long-winded talk about hardware, but it is part of the vlog. I did want to talk about potential hardware upgrades in the future. So there's just a lot on the horizon. 2019 here is very exciting. What's happening here in the summer. 2020 is going to be even more exciting as Intel enters the ring with their GPU as well. They got Raja, I believe was his name, from AMD for the Intel GPU sector. And they just got Tom fucking Peterson, who is a mastermind manipulator when it comes to words and whatnot. He works in PR, he worked in PR at NVIDIA, but he has now moved to Intel. So Intel seems to be dropping big money on big names for people to work in their GPU sector. So that's going to be interesting. But we got to wait till 2020 to see whatever Intel has to offer. But Intel has to come out swinging, right? AMD and NVIDIA are very established in the GPU market. If Intel comes out with some bullshit and they're like, hey, look at us, and it's just bullshit, no one's going to buy an Intel GPU, right? They got to come out with a big mammer jammer, bringing performance, balls to the wall performance, and it's going to have to be priced very aggressively for everything else around it. But again, that's 2020. That's next year. So, I don't know what else to talk about. What else? Oh, upcoming videos. We can talk about some upcoming videos here. So I've got some stuff written down. Yeah, I know I've been doing videos, right? Well, I have been actually working on a video. There's been a lot of procrastination and a lot of BS that's going along with this video, but it's a very long, it's not WoW related. It's just a standard generic setup video for ISBoxer because ISBoxer doesn't have one of these, and it's been forever. It's never had just a generic setup video. So I've had to put together something. It's like, man, the script was like almost 7,000 fucking words. It's like a 38 or 40 minute video as it stands right now. Because if it's generic, it has to handle so many different types of setups, right? When people come in, this is, again, not WoW related. WoW has its own setup video. But this is for people who play like EverQuest, EverQuest 1 and 2, Lord of the Rings Online, whatever the hell else people multi-box out there. There's a whole bunch of games that people use, but there's no generic video guide to walk people through. So I do have this very long video that I actually have to finish an audio correction for it, hopefully today, hopefully tonight. And then I can move on to the next step, which is like gathering all the assets for the video, all the stuff I need to record and take screenshots of and all of that. And then I can move into editing in hopefully a few days and get that out. Hopefully, oh my God, I've never made such a long video before. They're so difficult to work on. It's not like if a 5-minute video takes me, let's just throw out a number, like 7 hours to work on from start to finish of scripting and audio and everything. It takes 7 hours total. It's not like a 10-minute video takes 14 hours. The longer the video, it's like an exponential increase. And I've never made a video that's 38 or 40 minutes long before that is a tutorial that is scripted. And so I don't know what to expect. This is still going to take a very long time for me to put together, but that's what I've been working on. That's why nothing else has really come out. But I get it. Maybe I should make some ISBoxer workshop videos in the meantime, because those are kind of backing up as well. I've got a handful of those that I do want to make. So for ISBoxer workshop stuff, again, not set in stone, but some interesting stuff is like Focus CC. I started to set up a Focus CC video for just how to just CC targets and whatnot. And because I touched on this at the 6th video of the Pro System video series, and I said it was a very crude setup. It could be done better and more efficiently. And so I figured, let's break this up into a separate video that's like an ISBoxer workshop video. And so that's what I was going to do. And I started to set it up, but then I abandoned it to work on this generic setup video. But other than that, just basic stuff like fixing your window layout. Whenever you change hardware or you change like even drivers, sometimes the I'm blanking on the word I want to use, but the display number that's attached to your display in ISBoxer differs from what Windows has internally. That's the word I wanted to use. And then when you go to launch your character set, it's kind of screwed up. Well, there's an easy fix for that if you just edit the XML of your ISBoxer profile. So I want to show that in a workshop video. Custom modifiers, how to use other keys as custom modifiers. So you can, in addition to Control Alt and Shift, you can make a custom modifier in ISBoxer. Like you can make the Z key be a modifier. So that's very cool. Although it might not be as flexible. It's been a long time since I've actually explored that. So it might not be as efficient or flexible as some people might think it is right off the bat, just hearing that. Simple things like breaking follow, like a lot of people have problems with. Like some of these aren't going to be standalone videos. I'll make I'll mush a bunch of smaller topics together in one video. It's not going to be like one 4-minute video dedicated to breaking follow or anything like that. Another thing that's been asked is like when people level 10 characters via questing, how do you break that up in ISBoxer? How do you run 2 5-man teams, right? Well, I can show you how to do that in an ISBoxer workshop video. People recently have asked about like rolling hots. How do you do like rolling hots across your team and whatnot with ISBoxer's macro variables? I can show how to do that. So those are just some ISBoxer workshop things that have been backing up in the log here. There's several others here that I don't really know how to. They're just personal notes I've had. Another thing. 2 things that I think will blow people's minds that they've been waiting for forever. And unfortunately, I've kind of dropped the ball. Am I about to get logged out? I am about to get logged out. It's been that long. The reason I was in game was not so we could gather, was actually so I could show you this overlay. I wanted to show you this new overlay, my new button overlay here. So I've got this. We'll just go off on a quick tangent here for redoing the profile. This took me several days to implement, but obviously, if you watch any of my other gameplay videos where like I'm doing like the older dungeon runs and multiboxing with Mirai series, I generally have this digit up in the upper left corner. I've made it a lot bigger. This fucking damage meter. I've made it a lot bigger, and so I can still click and change it, but now it has this cool accent color to it. I really like the accent color, and I was trying to figure out the best way on how to maintain states here. So when I'm in the blue color and I go to toggle off my key maps, how do I move back to blue instead of falling back to green, right? Well, it works properly here, but let me go back to green. It obviously maintains state, right? It doesn't do anything right now other than just change colors. It's not tied to anything. So that's what I mean by I'm building my profile from absolute scratch. But it's just a cool thing that I thought I'd do. I don't even have a repeater thing implemented or anything like that. So I mean like a visual indicator that repeater is turned on. Something I'm working on. I'm trying to figure out what's an elegant way to do that. What is this? Okay, it's just a Kunda's bite. We're not too worried about it. If it was anchor read, I'd have to run over there. But yeah. Anyway, upcoming videos that people are going to be very excited about. Very excited about. A healing primer video. Oh my God, everyone and their mother wants to know how to heal. And I don't blame you, because it's kind of necessary to doing dungeons and whatnot, right? If you want, or just whatever, just basic gameplay, really. I mean, healing your characters. So it's going to cover everything from just the most basic healing setup of just like hard coding, like the number pad to do stuff that I don't recommend, but I'll show how to do it anyway, because someone will want to do that, and it's going to be similar to the other healing video I've got. I do have a healing video that's quite older at this point, but still completely relevant in the way that you can heal. So, anything from the clickable buttons, the click bars, or the menu buttons that you can put next to unit frames or whatnot, or wherever the hell you want to place them. Clickable buttons, clickable overlays, video effects, dedicated tank healing, hybrid setups, merging those two together to make them work for you, right? To make them work for you. That's going to be phenomenal. But man, after I'm done with this video, that video is also going to be like a fucking hour long. So don't expect that anytime soon, unfortunately. I don't want to get anyone excited, be like, oh, this is going to be out in 4 days, guys. It's not. I haven't even begun planning out that video, except just writing down what I want to do. If you've got some other ideas on ways to heal, I am going to be, I'd love to hear that, but I'm going to be asking in the ISBoxer Discord as well, whenever I finally get to that. The other one is a mapped key primer as well. There's been some complaints where people I do have a mapped keys 101 video on my other Mirai Presents channel that's super old, where I first began making multiboxing videos, but it's super old. And while it's actually still relevant for the most part, it is just super old. And so there's, I can approach this much better, and there's going to be a much more informative video about mapped keys, how they work, what they do, the actions in them. I'm not going to go over all 40 plus actions, because most of them are very self-explanatory or really unused at this point by most people. But it's going to be like a start to finish. You're going to learn what the hell a mapped key is and how to use them, because there's a lot of confusion that revolves around mapped keys as well. And the reason I think that is because, I've been using this program for a decade now. And back in my day, there was no mapped key wizard. Okay, kids? Back in my day, we had to configure every mapped key from scratch. So that's why I know as much as I do about these things, because over time, the mapped key wizard got put in place, and it obviously does a bunch of configuration for you that's very easy. But when you need to start tweaking things yourself manually, most people don't know how the fuck to do that, because the wizard has taken care of them from day one, right? And just done everything for them, and they haven't done any exploration or tinkering themselves. And there's not really a video to teach you how to do that, right? Well, hopefully soonish there will be, soonish. And these are huge videos, right? Those two are huge videos. Oh man, I don't, I'm talking about multiboxing with Mirai series. I'm talking about fixing this crazy ass profile. Classic is right around the corner, right? Two other long ass videos, including this generic setup wizard video that's super long. I don't know, man. I don't know where you're going to find me. I'm going to be in a fucking cave somewhere working on videos for the rest of my life. It's going to be ridiculous. So I'll try to weave in some multiboxing with Mirai. Some ISBoxer workshop videos in there in the meantime. But yeah, I don't think we're going to have any super custom, like I don't know. I don't know what we're going to have. I just gotta kick it into high gear, man. I don't know how easy that is though. It's really easy to fall into a low gear, or get distracted and fall into an unrelated gear. So regardless, anyway, man, this has been a long video, has it not? God damn, we've been recording a long time. Okay, well, if you just wanted to listen to this, fantastic. I think that's it. I forgot if I wanted to talk about anything else, but it's already been almost 40 minutes at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and cut it because this is a long-ass vlog video. But yeah, I'm not dead. I'm still around, and I will see you folks, when I see you. Either gameplay videos, setup videos, tutorial videos, or in the ISBoxer Discord, or on Dual-Boxing, or on ISBoxer.com. So that's where I'll be. That's where I'm always at. That's where I'll be till my life is over. And with that said, I love you all. My name is Mirai, and I will see you in the next video.